You guys, I am so excited. It is so beautiful. I am nestled in the mountains in Honolulu right now, and I made a special trip to Kawamoto Orchid Nursery, and I can't wait to see what's inside. So unfortunately, a lot of the audio from this video was compromised, so I'm just gonna go ahead and voice over. But when you walk in, you see a diverse assortment of orchids immediately. You start off with vandas, but then it transitions to a little bit of everything. There are phalaenopsis, there are bulbophyllum, but there are some strange things that I had never seen before. What we're looking at right now is a bulbophyllum phalaenopsis, and it is a beast, you guys. It was so huge. But then there are also Cattleya orchids, there are a lot of Dendrobiums. The opening impression you get when you walk in is one that really packs a punch. The Dendrobium assortment was crazy and so beautiful, and I couldn't pinpoint where the smells were coming from, but everything was absolutely lovely. I was so intoxicated. Now, one of the things that was interesting is they were telling me that it's very difficult to ship to California because the Department of Agriculture is very restrictive. So even though I couldn't ship an orchid to myself, I did buy one to try to carry home with me. What we're looking at now is the Miltoniopsis Lillian Nakamoto, and I was so infatuated with this plant. Now, ordinarily, Miltoniopsis don't catch my attention too much, but there's something odd and bizarre and gothic about this one. It's that beautiful contrast between the deep black on the lip and that stark white. It just was almost ghostly, and I kind of fell in love with it. And this is the restricted area. I'm not supposed to enter, but I do see quite a few Catasetum types, and look how beautiful they are in bloom. You guys, can you even believe how gorgeous this is? Like, where am I? So pretty. Wow. And then on this wall you have a bunch of strange little species. I think you've got some bulbophyllum out here. This beautiful little Tolumnia. Look at this prolific sherry baby. It smells so intensely of chocolate right here. And then there's also this really gorgeous guy. It almost looks like a Lycaste, but I think it's a Dendrobium. Look at this. Oh, so beautiful. You guys, I'm just losing my mind. Look at this antelope Dendrobium. So pretty. Oh my god, you guys, this place just goes on and on and on, and everything is gorgeous and remarkable, and I am like a kid in a candy store. I have to remind myself to keep filming because I just want to interact and smell and touch and see, because everything is just so insanely gorgeous. And just as I thought I was wrapping up, wrong, there's more. Oh my gosh, this is paradise. We just take a moment to appreciate the beauty and the majesty of nature. You guys, this is so stunning, it like makes me a little bit emotional. Oh my god. You guys, I can't, how do I truly have no idea where to even start with this because I just want to, okay. Sorry, I just need to collect myself. You guys, it just keeps going. I feel like I'm in the middle of the forest of Jurassic Park. This is absolutely insane. But I'm still waiting for those orchids to call to me and tell me that they belong to me. You know how they choose you. You guys, I'm catching on to a really interesting grow method, which is on these orchids that are mounted, he has a little satchel of nutrients, and as they water, it just kind of trickles down just as it would in nature, which I think is kind of brilliant. I have not seen that done before, but so interesting. Look at this beautiful little bulbophyllum. So after wandering around the entire nursery for literal hours, my mind kept coming back to the big, beautiful red flower that I saw right when I walked in. And that is the Renanthera Kalsom red dragon. So I just got a little version of this guy, and I'm hoping it'll grow up to be as big and powerful as its big brother. Okay, you guys, I don't know where I found the self-restraint, but I did manage to walk away with just one orchid, and that is the red dragon that I was just showing you. And to be perfectly honest, it's not self-restraint at all. It is totally fear. So I just have this deep-seated fear that someone is going to try to take this orchid from me as I make my way back to California. Just the fact that they won't ship to California makes me feel a little bit leery of the entire thing. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, well, if I do get all of the orchids I want, how devastated will I be if they take them all from me? So I guess this is my attempt to try to minimize my potential losses, but ultimately I'll be devastated if they don't take it from me, because then I'll be like, well, what about all the orchids I wanted? Because I really wanted that Miltoniopsis. There were so many bulbophyllum I wanted. There were so many Dendrobiums that I really wanted. So I don't know, I'll just be grateful for what I have, and hopefully it makes it all the way back home with me. And if it does, it'll constitute number 52 in the collection, and we can celebrate that if and when that happens. But I do want to talk a little bit more about the Kawamoto Orchid Nursery. So the gentleman who helped me is named Les, and I believe he's one of the co-owners. So it's Les, Carol, and Reed Kawamoto. But he was so kind and patient with me because you guys know me, I'm like a little overwhelming and intensely enthusiastic, and I was asking questions about his family and his upbringing, and did your dad teach you how to grow orchids? Is this a family endeavor? How many years have you been in the business? And he was very patient, and he indulged me very kindly. But as we got to talking, I started to make some really interesting discoveries. The orchid growing community is a small one, and the people who have been doing it for a long time very well know about each other and are kind, friendly, and supportive to each other. So Les knew Kent from Fantasy Orchids. He knew Norman from Norman's Orchids, and it was just kind of adorable and cute and wonderful how highly he spoke of everybody. And that just kind of made me feel good because it really is such a beautiful community, and I think that's something that we as orchid growers can really learn from. I think there can be a lot of divisiveness in terms of how people grow and what people think is right or wrong, but look at these people who have exceptionally well-established orchid nurseries where their livelihood depends on how they cultivate orchids, and they manage to share mutual respect and admiration. I think that's really special. But beyond that, Les was also super patient with me because I was asking him about his parents and his family and the dynamics about how they grow orchids and how he grows orchids. And it's funny because we had a bit of a misunderstanding. I was asking him, do you and your father grow orchids the same way? And he said, well, no, we don't, because the commercial needs have evolved. Things have changed. The type of people who are buying orchids, establishments buying orchids, the market's different. So he thought I was asking about in terms of commercial growing and the profitability of growing. But what I was actually asking was, do your tactics as an orchid grower mirror those of your father? And to explain that, I was telling him, me and my mother are very much at odds with how we grow our orchids. And I was kind of chastising her gently and playfully, saying, oh, she doesn't do anything right and she doesn't follow any of the rules, but of course her orchids do amazing. And it was funny because he was like, well, your mom sounds like she's doing it right, so you should just be nice to her. So I thought that was really cute. But I don't know what exactly it was, but there is an aura to that orchid nursery. I don't know if it's where it is spatially. I don't know if it's the beautiful location. I don't know if it is just like the landscape. There's something very spiritual about being there, and just how expansive the premises are. It just makes you feel like you can get lost in this world of orchid wonderment. I truly cannot tell you guys enough. If you have the opportunity to go, please go. You will not be sorry. So I will put the link to the nursery below, just in case you want to shop online. If you're in California, again, they can't ship to you, but elsewhere I believe they can. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Sorry, I'm just chatting about it now, but I was just really captivated and touched by my experience there today and thought you should know. So as always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. If you have any questions, feedback, concerns, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to click subscribe and have a beautiful rest of your day. Mwah! Bye, guys.